that whole private jet thing, Milan's private jet, is twiddling his thumbs with his finger up his ass. Not a good look for Milan and Redbird. Marshall says, do you think Redbird will do enough this summer to get the side back into the Champions League this season? That's an interesting question. Will they do enough? A lot of it has to do with management. Conceicao, I like Conceicao. I was one of probably the few people who thought he should have got a longer run to see what he can do. He needed a full off season. It's hard coming in January and trying to revolutionize a team. Not many people can do it. Now you got Allegri back. It's going to probably set the football back, the aesthetics of it back 100 years, like San Siro. They'll get back to winning, no doubt. Defense will be better, hopefully. Will Redbird do enough? That's an interesting question. Have they done enough already? Maybe. The question is, what kind of patience will they have? Will they, if Max Allegri gets off to a similar start that Conceicao had with Milan, will they pull the plug? Will they, we don't know what kind of owners these are in terms of a temperament. Are they the Palermo type, where you just get rid of managers like you're changing underwear? Or are you the type that has patience and allows a coach to go through the ebbs and flows? We saw with Conceicao, they didn't really have the patience. A lot of it was stubbornness by Conceicao. I'll admit to that. But talk about stubbornness, Allegri is stubborn of them all. They got the manager. They got the manager that they wanted. I never liked the second comings of a manager. That's why I never wanted to see Ancelotti back in Milan. Usually when managers go back to their club for a second time, it never works out. Look at Mourinho with Chelsea. Time will tell. Losing Theo Hernandez is huge. How do you fill that void? How do you make sure that Rafa Leao gets what he needs? Do I expect them to buy a lot of players and that kind of stuff? No. Are they going to be like Napoli? Napoli has already acquired a lot of players. I don't expect Milan to do that. Can they find the right pieces? Maybe. Depends on how well what Allegri is trying to put together. It's hard to say. I think this is a big year too, because I think if Milan don't get back at Champions League, the Curva is going to want them out immediately. I mean, they already were trying to get them out. But I mean, majority of people, probably myself included, will say get out. I think Redbird deserved a little bit of leniency at the beginning because they're just getting into the team, the club. But now this season is like the make or break for me. Yes, you want to be... We all joked when Redbird said, we want to make Champions League. They're basically saying we want to be Arsenal. Top 4 every year. That's the goal. If you get anything better, great. Of course, we want to win the Champions League. We want to win the Scudetto, but top 4 is the goal. If they don't get it this year, you got to question everything Redbird does. I think bringing Allegri back is huge. Not for the aesthetics again, but I think the results. Allegri gets results. It's never pretty with Allegri. However, automatically they're challenging for top 4. Now there's other teams involved who are really going to have a good year. Roma, you got to watch out on the Gasparini. We just talked about them. Obviously, the champions Napoli and Inter. We'll see what Kivu does. We'll get into the Kivu soon, but man, it's a tough one. How about you, Marshall, and everybody else in the chat? Do you think Redbird's done enough? Or will do enough this summer? The verdict is to be determined. They got the manager they wanted. They got him early. That was key. So, in theory, that'll be enough if they give Allegri what he needs. If Allegri asks for something, they got to give it to him. None of this BS that they did with the Belgian player whose name is escaping me at the moment, who they're squabbling over 5 million euros or something cheap, and he goes and joins Galatasaray or Fenerbahce. They came in a stupid middle of the night. Mourinho, where's he at? He's at Fenerbahce. That's the kind of shit that doesn't work. So if Max Allegri says, I need players A, B, and C, you go get it. That's it. None of this, because you're losing good players for cheap, and then you have to pay out the pocket and get more expensive players, or don't get anybody, and then the team's going to suffer. If they really have aspirations of being top 4 again this season, whatever Allegri wants, you give it to him. Done. Don't squabble over 5 million euros. That's the BS that infuriates everybody. I don't expect Pervis Estupiñán to be putting similar numbers as Theo Hernandez. However, if he can defend better, and I think that's the key. No one is going to give us the attack of Theo Hernandez unless his name is Di Marco, right? If you're banking on someone to give us the offensive output that Theo Hernandez did, I think you're crazy. However, if we get someone who defends better than him, that's probably better in respect. I think we have enough attacking power. I think if Pulisic and Leao really go nuts this year, and Allegri can figure out the striker situation, if you have a solid defense, which we need massive help with, I think that's good. And hopefully that's what we get. Reno, I'm with you. I think he will do good with Milan. I think he can get top 4. There's no way he's going to get Scudetto. But crazier things have happened, right? We'll see. Maybe Juventus wins the Scudetto. Anthony says, I think Modric and Ricci, I love Ricci, by the way. Are good signings as well, and Purvis would need at least one more midfielder, right back, and another striker to compete with Santiago Jimenez. I hope Jimenez has a bounce back year. Marshall says, I don't think Red Bull will. They nickel and dime every player that we need. Exactly. And I don't think they understand that it'll take some debt to make us profitable again. You got to spend some to win some, right? Honestly, Teo last season didn't do much. So if Purvis puts in 3 to 4 assists and maybe a free kick goal, that'll be enough. I'm with you. What's happening with the Club Rouge player? He's off to Fenerbahce, Reno. Milan were nickel and diming Club Rouge or whatever club he was with. And Mourinho said, come on, I got your private jet. Let's go. By the way, that whole private jet thing, and I'm going off tangents here. You guys have dragged me down this Milan hole, but the player in question from Belgium, Milan's squabbling over a couple million euros. Mourinho comes in the dead of night with Fenerbahce in a private jet. Milan hear this, and this is a rumor. I can't say this is confirmed, but apparently Milan heard that Mourinho brought a private jet out, so they sent a private jet out to Belgium as well. And the player's like, okay, do I go to Milan or do I go to Fenerbahce? I'm going to Fenerbahce. And the pilot for Milan's private jet, is just twiddling his thumbs with his finger up his ass. Not a good look. Not a good look for Milan and Redbird.